Hello, can you hear me? Hello, can you hear me? Are we back? Can you uh, can you see me waving? Um, okay. My stream preview is still bugged out, and it says that nobody's viewing, which is a little bit concerning. Um, OBS never went down, so I'm not sure what that was. It must have been a blip on Twitch's end because my internet didn't blip, and OBS stayed strong. Okay. Well, I guess I'll just carry on. So yeah, shallot. I don't think of shallots as an Asian thing, but I guess they're why not? I guess um, that's 4 of the 5 packets. The last packet is the flavor powder packet, which is a combination of the things you expect. So it's salt, sugar, MSG, garlic powder, onion powder, white pepper, and chicken flavor, which is interesting because this did not taste chickeny at all. And it actually has shrimp on the package. Um, Now I don't have onion powder on hand. I do have garlic powder. Um, and I've got MSG and I've got salt and sugar. And I thought this was a good chance to use these chicken cubes. Remember the chicken cubes? These guys, I can chuck one of these chicken cubes in there without broth because we're not making a soup. It's not a soup, it's a stir fry. So I can use one of these chicken cubes to get a bunch of that chicken in there without having to do a lot of effort. These things are already going to pay off. I'm going to keep them in the freezer until I need them. So that's all I've got. That's, oh boy, I wish I could. In fact, here, we're going to move the gentleman. We'll show off this heap. So one little instant noodle packet, and here's what I've got to recreate it. Plus chicken cubes, plus shrimps. Where'd my shrimps go? Shrimps. So next time you're eating a packet of instant noodles, respect how much effort has actually gone into making turning this much stuff into one little packet of instant noodles that's ready in 2 minutes. Because this certainly isn't going to take me longer than 2 minutes. Anyways, we should get started. Yeah, chicken cubes are going to stay in the freezer until I need one because I am afraid they might dissolve. on the countertop. For some reason, my preview video has not recovered from that blip. Oh, okay, there it is. No, it's yeah, okay, there it is. I saw a moisten that I missed because I was during my dropout blip. I think I missed it, so I will do that now. Thank you for the moisten. Moist. It's especially important. I've been drinking a lot of water. My throat gets scratchy still, so yeah. So let's get started. No sense in delaying. First step is the noodles, because they're going to need to be boiled before I can even attempt to stir fry them. These are, it says stir fry noodles. These would be called, oh, it says right there, chow mein. The packaging and the instructions, when I read about Mie Goreng, specifically calls for Chinese yellow noodle, which, near as I can tell, that's exactly what these guys are. They're yellow, they're noodles, they're Chinese, and they're meant for stir frying. They're a little bit more robust and can handle that getting tossed around. So step one is get some water on the go. We don't need a huge amount of water, but we need a wide enough vessel here that I can get the noodle sheet in there in one piece. So I'm only there's two like layers here, and I'm only going to use one of the layers. So let's actually get that off of there. This stuff is basically instant noodles already. This is made in the same method as they make the instant noodles in the packets, and it cooks for just about the same amount of time. But this one is in a special packaging, and you get two of them, so it costs 4 or 5 times as much. It's not really a good deal, honestly, compared to buying the instant noodles, except that you get the exact type of noodle you're looking for. It's back in this packaging. Not a lot of instant noodles use the this kind of chow mein. I'm also going to, since we're just starting out, get a little bowl of water to thaw a couple of shrimp in. Because my shrimps are frozen and they need to thaw out. See if I can't get some of them loose from the block here. Ugh. By the time we need them, they will be thawed. One of those cases of when I see shrimp at a reasonable price, I buy them and I freeze them so that I can have shrimp later. The package only has 2 shrimps on it. I'm going to go with 3. You don't want to overwhelm this with shrimp. Okay, so those guys, we're going to have them rest off to the side while they thaw. Our water is boiling or coming up pretty quickly, which is good. I can take this opportunity to construct some of my flavor powders. Now, again, I don't have onion powder, so I think we're going to actually throw a little bit of just plain old normal onion in there. Even though shallot is the allium of choice for this. I'm pretty sure they probably would use fresh garlic and fresh onion in the real dish. So we could say screw it on the garlic powder, but garlic powder has a bit of a different flavor. Hi ho! You missed the opening sequence. You could check it out on the VOD. Where I was explaining today's project. Short version is I'm making this instant Mie Goreng, but I'm making it for real. So I've got a million ingredients here. And that's the project. All this stuff combines into one package of instant noodles. I think I'm going to use the garlic powder because garlic powder has a bit of a different flavor than my water is boiling vigorously. We take our noodles and we boil. Boil 3 minutes, rinse. Rinse with cold water. Yeah, if next time you have instant noodles, remember, somebody put a lot of effort figuring out how to combine all this stuff into a little tiny packet in your instant noodles. Also, we're exploring a new cuisine a little bit with Mie Goreng being Indonesian. And it occurs to me that isn't even all the stuff, because there's also lettuce and parsley also have to go in this. So there's even more. I didn't even fit it all on the screen, which is part of the fun because all this little weird corner of serving suggestions is being included. Anyways, the noodles are boiling. Let's get my board out. And they're going to dice a few things up. I don't probably need even a whole onion. So we're going to, there we go. Just take the top half of the onion. And it's going to be incorporated into our flavor powder, along with the garlic and MSG. but it's not going to be our base for our oil because that's got to be the crispy fried shallots because the crispy fried shallots are literally a discrete ingredient on this packaging. Um, but yeah, for those of you who've been following along, I mentioned on Twitter once that although who knows what's happening with Twitter these days, that I had thought about doing this, what I'm doing now, which is taking the serving suggestions, these little packets here, uh, on the package of various things, uh, and making them. Because sometimes the suggestion like is just crazy. This one's not wildly unreasonable. The toppings listed on the serving suggestion are things that are found in the actual dish. Hmm. Pardon me, still got a little bit of a cough. We'll be cutting out every once in a while for that. Uh, yeah, I was what was I saying? Recreating the serving suggestions. So this is sort of a trial run for that. Some of the serving suggestions on the packages are just bizarre because anytime they put something on the outside of the package that isn't literally what is in the packaging, they put a little thing next to it that says serving suggestion. And sometimes they put stuff on the front that is purely decorative. Um, Here's an example. This is a block of tofu. There's tofu in there. This is a whole dish though, with some things I don't even recognize. But I could like recreate that dish based on the serving suggestion on the front of this package. I have to figure out what all those things are because they're not listed. They're just in a picture. So I can find one of the really, really crazy ones. Oh, so I have a box of gelatin. The things on the fronts of like boxes of gelatin or rennet or those like really baseline ingredients, they got a whole dish on the front. Those things are crazy. Okay, let me drain my noodles. I'm getting myself all distracted here. There's a moisten. Take a quick moisten. Mm, moist. Uh, Drain our noodles. Rinse our noodles with cold water. Which is oops, important, I guess. Doing it directly in the sink. Okay. Take our noodles, rinse our noodles in cold water, and then bring them back. Drizzle them with a little bit of neutral oil to prevent them from sticking together into a big glob, but also because they're going to need to be pretty well oiled. I'm going to use soybean oil specifically for this, which I have a giant jug of, so be very careful. They're going to need to be well oiled before we can fry them. later down the line. Otherwise, they will just stick directly to the bottom of the pan. So they're cooked, they're cooled, and then they're tossed in a neutral oil thoroughly. And then they can set aside. I've got too many things aside right now. Okay. I am a little bit concerned. I'm going to wash my hand real quick because I got oil all over it. I'm a little concerned about sticking. Um, I still don't have a really good veneer on my wok because I keep cooking things in it that eat into the seasoning. Um, those sticky pork riblets that I posted the other day, well, there's vinegar in the sauce, and I made those in the wok, and it ultimately, when I got down to it and cleaned it off, it took some of the seasoning off my wok, so I had to re-season it, which means my wok constantly sort of has interruptions to. I just need to be more careful with it. Basically, I just need to be more careful with it. But so we'll see if I have any sticking today, because we're going to end up using the wok for that part. I'm going to get all my various things over here mise en place before I dive in on any actual cooking, because otherwise we'll have a probably some kind of disaster. Um, the topping things don't necessarily need to be really done in advance, but as long as I'm dicing up a million different things, I'll dice those up too. So the onion, which is going to be part of the stir fry, not part of the crispy shallots. We probably have too much onion. So we'll put it in a little early in the process and let it cook down to impart its delicious onioniness. As for our flavored powders, they don't give me proportions on the package, so I'm just going to guesstimate by using the same spoon to scoop out bits of each of them. I know some people just don't like the idea of MSG. I do like the idea of MSG. I think it is perfectly A-okay. Go for it. If you don't like it, uh, skip it. There's not really a substitute for it. Increase the amount of garlic and onion powder you've got. Where's my white pepper? I don't hardly ever use white pepper, so it disappears in my spice rack. I know I've got one, so let's find it. Maybe I used it all up. Well, white pepper is mostly just for color, I think. So it doesn't have little black specks in it. So I guess we're gonna fall back to black pepper, which is fine. I sound really defeated about everything. I'm just kind of tired. Black pepper. Salt. And sugar. Those are our dry spices that go with our diced up onion. Assemble these things at the top. Shallot. Let's deal with the shallot next. I got a largish shallot with the intent of using it for both things. Take top and tail off of it, split it up the middle. So I need it to be a crispy shallot, and it's also, I guess it's supposed to be crisped up in the oil, removed from the oil before it burns, and then re-added later on so that it doesn't get soggy when you add the sauce. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to end up frying it first until it's crispy, and then setting it aside. But that means we need to dice it up in advance and be ready for our project. I was interested to notice while examining the packaging, there's no green onion, there's no scallion in this. Instead, there's shallot. And I think that's exactly what it is. It's that instead of green onion, they use shallot for this. It's another kind of mild onion. Green onion is a milder than full-size white onion, and shallot is supposedly milder than onion as well. Ugh. Although it is making me cry a little bit right now. Maybe I'm just emotionally fragile from COVID. But I was very intrigued by the fact that it specifically called for shallot. The package, yes, deep emotional attachment to onions. Um, the package here for the instant one uses shallots, but also when I was reading about Mie Goreng, it says shallots are the preferred uh, onion for it. That onion can be used, onion or green onion can be used in a pinch, but shallot is the preferred option, which is interesting. I don't think of shallots as a Southeast Asian ingredient so much. I think of them as a French Italian like fancy onion. When you want onions in French or Italian cooking, but you don't just want to put onions in there, you put shallots in it. Ow. Let's do the carrot next. Now, the carrot and the peas, we want equal quantities of them. They're going to go in at the same time, and they are also just kind of a, I don't know, they're like a little add-on. They're not a major ingredient. There's only a couple of them mixed in with the noodles on the picture, and they're not listed as a major ingredient in when I was reading about it. So I'm not sure why they're here, other than to make the noodles less monochrome. So dice them small enough that they cook fast. There's an unidentified little thing on the package as well that looks kind of like either little bits of fried egg, like you would in a fried rice, or like cross sections of fried shallot. And I'm going to err on the side of them being fried shallot, and thus not have to add anything to them because I'm already adding an egg, a whole egg, and it seems redundant to then also have egg in the mix. Speaking of egg, that guy. I'm not sure what I was about to say. I lost my train of thought. Let's get peas. Equal quantity of peas to the amount of carrots we've got. Frozen peas cook directly from frozen almost instantly. Which is one of the reasons that I advocate for just getting a package of frozen peas to use as your peas. They also keep forever, and if you need to put an ice pack on an injury, they're also good for that. The having a bunch of little balls, frozen balls in them, means that they flex and conform around whatever you need them to very quickly and easily. Freezer's getting a little bit crowded these days. Oh, good spot for them right there. There's going to be another chicken stock adventure before too long. Is that all my things? No, it's not. We need to carefully open up a green chili. Now, on the picture, the green chili is included in the garnish. I kind of want it to be in the thing, and I'm not sure if I should be true to the picture or cook how I feel. The dish wasn't terribly spicy. It's not a spicy noodle dish, so I think that the green chili as garnish might be the more appropriate option, but I also feel like having just little bites of these. Let's taste one. What do you think? Too hot? Hmm. It's actually not crazy hot. I did try the tip where there were no seeds. Let's try a top slice. Okay. Ah! Okay. Oh man. Hold on. Let me get a mouthful of milk real quick. Oh boy. Okay. Note to self: do not snack on the Thai green chilies straight up. Hoo boy. Oh man. Oh, okay. I don't think I want them as a garnish. I want to cook them out a little bit, and I don't want to add this second one. So let's we'll be a little bit gentler with that. Wow, boy, the difference between the little tip where there were no seeds and the top part where there were seeds is shocking. Let's assemble my liquid sauces as well. So this stuff you can see is about as syrupy as molasses, but it's and it's got that bitter flavor of molasses too, but it's also salty. And I don't think it's exactly right on the flavor. I think it's a little bit too thick and it's a little bit too molassesy. So I'm going to add a little bit of regular soy sauce to thin it out, to try to get it closer to tiny whisk. Add a little bit of soy sauce to it to get it closer to the flavor of the packet, which I believe is the Indonesian ketchup. Much closer. Oh, much closer. Tiny bit more. I was also reading about ketchup in general recently. I was watching a video, a cooking video, a history of cooking with somebody. I'd have to look it up. He does a combination of these historical deep dives and then actually like cooks the thing, which is fun. And he was doing ketchup, so he was doing this historical deep dive of ketchup, and then he made ketchup. But he didn't make modern ketchup. He made the ketchup when it first arrived to Europe. So it was, there were no tomatoes yet, but they didn't want just fish sauce. So they were making mushroom ketchup, and it was very interesting. So that got me thinking about ketchups. So maybe I'll do an experiment. I'll try to make ketchup. I was thinking an apple ketchup might be fun. Apples are sweet and acidic, like tomatoes. Seems like it could be a thing that you could do. I know banana ketchup works, and those aren't even acidic. They got to add acid to them. Okay. Add the stuff. Mix it up. That should be our sauce. Let's give it a taste, see if it's in the right ballpark. Whoa. Whoa. There's a lot going on in there. Ooh, there's a lot going on in there. Ooh, there's a lot going on in there. Ooh, there's a lot going on in there. I like it. It's not exactly the same. It's not. I think I'm slightly off the mark. But I haven't added any of the onion or garlic or any of this stuff to it. So that's probably where it's falling short from the flavor I remember. Let's see, we've got our onions. I'm going to throw these in. We're going to do the crispy shallots first, though. The noodles are done. The lettuce is a garnish. The tomato, oh, a little bit of tomato has to go into the actual stir fry part of our stir fry. So we have to get these little green chilies scooped up. So we have to actually cut part of the tomato so that I can throw it into the stir fry. Again, when you're doing stir fry, it's usually a good idea to get all your mises placed in advance, because it's kind of a quick, dynamic cooking method, and you don't want to have to stop and walk away in order to get something prepared. Um, so, especially for stir fries, it's good to have all of your and mise en place is a French term that is just for things in their place, something like that. I don't speak French, um, and it's just literally just get all your ingredients, all your bits and pieces ready to go before you start cooking, so that you're ready to go. It makes cooking just that much easier if you prep everything. Taking the core out of the tomato there. Uh, so I'm dicing up a quarter of the tomato here. It's going to be in our stir fry, and then there's going to be a nice big slices of garnish, possibly two. In fact, take the core off of that part, and we can probably bisect this, and it can be two slices of garnish for our finished dish. The tomato is going in this dish. Tomatoes turn to mush pretty easily, so we're going to throw it in late in the stir fry so that it still has little chunks. Um, I think that cucumber's a garnish, the lettuce is a garnish, and the tomatoes a garnish. The shrimps are as well, and so is the egg, but they need to be cooked. But they both cook very quickly, so I think we can do them right at the end. Okay, I think we're ready to. Sorry. I think we're ready to get cracking on the actual cooking process of this. So let's pop over to the stove. My wok is already ready to go. I'm going to load it up with some coconut oil. To start with, coconut oil is tasty and not bad for the environment the way palm oil is. And it's nice and high heat. But I find it a little bit difficult to use because it is so waxy at room temperature. We need quite a bit. And also, it kind of forms these little like arches when I scoop it. But we need quite a bit of it. I want to make sure the pan is well oiled so the stuff doesn't stick. But if you've never used coconut oil, um, give it a go. I've got this on low heat to start because I want to melt the oil before I do anything else. Just to see how much we've got before I start throwing in things into it. Oh, you know what I should get? Where's my big wok spoon? There we are. This guy. You're going to need you. We might need tongs, actually, because there's going to be noodles in there, too. Noodles are hard to spoon, so... No, I'm a fool. I don't need tongs. I need long chopsticks. Long chopsticks for tossing the noodles around. That's exactly what I need. Okay. Well, I've got the long chopsticks. Specifically for things like this, where I need to dig around in a thing I don't want to stick my hand in. Oh, okay. Okay. Coconut oil is melting. I may have gone a little bit overboard, but that's fine. I want this to be. I'm deliberately making this a little bit extra oily because I mentioned that I'm having sticking issues with my wok, and I want to make sure that there's enough oil. That stuff doesn't stick, but also we're going to fry some shallots in there. Oh yeah, I forgot. There are a few little bits of shallot on the top as a sprinkle that are uncooked. So we're going to save, we're going to preserve a pinch of shallot as garnish. Remember that before I fry everything. They're hard to see on the packaging, but there are little purple bits sprinkled across the top. Is that okay? Now I've got to eyeball. Is that enough oil for what I want to do with it? I want more than a typical amount for just wok frying because I need to do a little bit of extra crispy frying at the start here. But I don't want it to be an absolute soup of oil, so I'm going to add a tiny bit. The noodles are going to pick up a little bit of it too when they get in there. So, and actually, let me take a look at my packaging here. Season. Oh, no, it doesn't have. I was thinking maybe they put a little bit of cornstarch in there to help the sauce form a sauce, but no, it doesn't look like they did in this one. Often there'll be a little bit of some kind of starch in the powder in these packets to make the sauce form a sauce instead of a little puddle at the bottom. Okay. It's melted. It looks like the right amount, so I'm going to bring the temperature up. And put in the shallot. Now these need to be crisped. That's the point here. So So we are going to overcook them a bit. But then I want to remove them. Because they'll lose their crispness if I start adding all the other stuff to them, all these other soft ingredients, like liquidy ingredients. So we got to keep an eye on them. Because then I'm going to take them out once they're crispy. I'm going to take them out, and then we're going to put onions in the pan, which is going to be just a lot of onion in this. There's a lot of alliums going on in this dish. Turns out. So hey, what's new with all you? While I'm crispying up some shallots. Yeah, the alliums give you a lot of umami. That's for sure. I would tell you what's up with me, what's new with me, but I already told you. I got COVID last week. That was fun. I can't recommend it. We're gonna get a bowl ready to catch those crispy shallots when they come out. Oh, oh. Uh, well, one of those things is much more dramatic than the others. Let me tell you, I've been fun employed for a while now. It gets old after a while, so keep an eye on things. But I wish you the best for that. Okay, we need to stir these around because clearly they're browning a little unevenly. uh, yeah, that monster of the week, that'll get you. I'm still waiting to hear back from the last place I applied to, and I haven't put any new ones in recently because I was sick for a week. And I'm still waiting to hear back from the county that I interviewed with. Last I heard, the selection process was ongoing, which is promising but frustrating. Okay. Gonna get these guys out of here before they burn. And without taking all the oil with me. So they're gonna get pushed up out of the oil. Onto the back of the pan. Although, part of the reason we're doing this is that there were little burned. It was really interesting to see it. I'd have to open up the package now to show you if I was going to do it. The seasoning oil, it was called seasoning oil. The seasoning oil in the package was a little packet of white oil with this black sediment in it. And now, having read the ingredients, that black sediment is clearly little burned shallot bits from this part. Okay. Okay. There's our fried shallots. They're about as browned as I'm willing to take them before they burn. Keep them handy. They're going to get tossed in toward the end. Yeah, waiting is hard. I understand it's a government thing, so they gotta churn their way through a mountain of bureaucracy. I've had a government job too. That one, I don't think I've told many people this. The post office, the hiring process took 4 months. No wonder nobody works at the post office. It takes 4 months from the time you apply to them getting back to you to say you've got it. That's not the training process. That's the hiring process takes 4 months, and then you go in for training. I can't imagine this is as bad. Because it's not federal, but it's still. Okay, onions. We're putting them in a little bit ahead because I want them to cook down. We're also going to bring the temperature down a bit because it was extra hot for frying up the uh, shallots. Yeah, it seemed a little ridiculous, but then they got back to you. Like, oh, well, you made it through the whole thing. If they don't like you, you get a message right away that says, I'm sorry, I picked someone else. If they do like you, you get thrown into this incredibly laborious, long process during which they give you no updates. And then at the end, they're like, you got the job. It's it's a hell of a thing. Uh, it's a hell of a thing. Okay, onions, meat, your friends, peas and carrots. I don't know why I had the handle diagonal like that. So yeah, I'm not thinking that something has gone wrong at this point. I'm encouraged that I haven't heard back because it means they haven't kicked me out of the process yet. Mm, sorry. But it's also frustrating. So, did I push the wrong button? Can you still? Yeah, I still got sound. Okay. I pushed a button on my headset and I thought I lost sound for a sec. Um, so the stir-fried elements are all in there. Oops. Let's get our sauce. Give it a momentary tiny whisking. And we will spatula it out. Make sure I don't miss any of it. Sauce will provide some liquid as a base because I'm going to reach into my freezer. I didn't forget about them. Grab one of these chicken cubes. pop it in there. I don't think this is proper procedure, but hey, we're throwing stuff at a wall and see what sticks. We'll see how long it takes that chicken cube to melt. I've never done one of these directly in the pan, so I'm not sure about it. I almost feel like I should have shaved it. It's melting. The top is still rock frozen, but it's you can see it's kind of getting shorter. We're going to need the temperature up as well because now we're going to have some extra liquid we need to cook off. Probably should have put that in first, just into the hot pan with the vegetables. It's because it's still ice cold on top. I can just skate it around. Also, it's also probably more chicken stock than I need for this. But here we go. I want it to be a nice sort of thick sauce to coat the noodles. So I guess that's what I'm constructing now, is a nice thick sauce that we will then have to cook down and thicken up until it's no longer soupy, which the starch from the noodles will help. Oh, although they look pretty cooked separately on the thing, I was thinking I could take my 3 shrimps and nestle them in here and get them cooked through and then fish them out. Since that guy is still melting, I'm going to quick peel them. We're going to do that. That's an idea. Now there's an idea. See, this is why I had to do the crispy shallots and pull them out ahead of time. They would have gone soggy if they were in all that extra liquid. And I want them to be little crispy bits at the end. So we throw them in right at the end before we finish it off. Oh, this is more talking than I've done in the past several days too, and I think it's getting to my throat a little bit. How you doing there, bud? Looking pretty cooked on one side. That guy's looking a little bit under on that side. That guy's going to be slightly underer. Yep. Okay. The pan isn't super duper hot because it's still trying to grapple with this thing. But I think we're on the right track here. I think if I was these chicken blocks that I made are tasty and useful. I kind of wish they were a little bit smaller. I kind of wish I'd used a smaller ice cube tray for them, so they were a little bit smaller, because I would have maybe put just part of that one in there. But they're so hard. They're actually quite a bit harder than normal ice, because all the protein in them really strengthens them up. So they're really impossible to break apart until you thaw them. Temperature up even a little bit more. Although once this is thawed, it'll really start boiling harder and start losing some of that excess liquid that's in there. So this isn't quite as fast of a cook as I thought it was going to be, because that block of chicken stock kind of slowed us down a little bit. Because of course, a wok is a thin sheet of steel, so that it heats up quickly, but it also cools down quickly. So when you throw that in there, it creates a cold spot. It actually cools the metal down, because the metal doesn't have enough mass to hold onto it. That's the point. The edges here aren't as hot as the middle, so you can push stuff to the sides, things like that. But it means that if you throw a frozen ingredient into your wok, it cools the wok down a lot more than it would a heavy pan. I'm going to call these guys done, and I'm going to pull them out. But I don't want to overcook my shrimps. I'm actually going to throw them in here with the crispy fried shallots, because the dish is handy. And now I'm going to take my dry ingredients and toss them in here. The instructions for the instant packet have you boil the noodles and then assemble the sauces and the dry stuff on the plate, and then put the noodles into the paste that you've made for them on the plate, and then toss them around. So I'm going to fully assemble our flavors here underneath the noodles before I even add them. And it'll help the garlic powder and such really kind of incorporate into the sauce base I've got going on here. This is shaping up to be pretty saucy, although we've got this at a good hard boil, so it's gonna lose some of its volume and thicken up. Oh, I should do a spoon test on it, actually, see how thick it really is. Pretty good. It's not quite coating the back of a spoon, but it's close. There's a sneaky chance for a taste, too. Ooh. Oh, okay. Oh, yeah, okay. It's definitely coming much closer to what the packet was. Sorry. Adding those dry bits to it and cooking in the onion really amped it up. Really amped it up. We've definitely got the right neighborhood here, and the sauce is thickening quickly too. So I'm going to take this opportunity, loosen up my noodles real quick. The noodles are going in. I can't really use the spoon now. You can't scoop the noodles very well. The noodles are going in. We're going to start tossing them around. Control my temperature a little bit. Make sure they're really well coated. Throw my diced tomatoes in there, because it's now or never on them. And the noodles were already cooked, so we just have to sort of fry them up and make them pick up this sauce. I should get a plate ready. Almost forgot to get a plate ready. Plate's going to be over here, slightly off the edge of the screen. And we're not sticking, and I don't think we're eating my season off the bottom either, so that's good. Although I'll be reseasoning this tonight either way, because it only had one real coat on it, because I hecked it up yesterday. Okay. Yeah. I don't want the shrimps to fly in there just now, so we're going to move them over to the board here. The crispy shallots are going back in, though, because we're just about to take this off the heat. So we'll get them all up in there. I did actually already take the heat off, so we're going to come right over and plate this beast. And get all of my bits and pieces out of the wok, because that was the whole point in making all these bits and pieces. Okay. If I pop us over here real quick, this is what we got so far. But we're not done yet, because we're heading back over to the stove. With a fresh pan. A small one. Come on. Some oil in the pan. This time we're using olive oil, which I know is not traditional. Heat back on. Get that guy heated up, because we got to make an egg. While that is heating up, we'll come back over here. We'll start assembling our other toppings. I'm going to take two slices of tomato. Lettuce was a little bit wilty already. Okay. Piece of butter lettuce. Butter lettuce. I know someone of you got that reference. Um, I don't know why lettuce is a thing they put on this, but it's a thing they put on this. So take the stemmy part off. And garnish with some lettuce, which is still seems strange to me. I'm going to keep it kind of on the side. We will nestle our 3 shrimps over there as well. Um, Another thing that is confusing me a little bit, the cucumber. Check the heat on my pan. Probably ready for the egg. Okay, okay. You can see the egg in the little tiny corner dealy. An egg is also kind of a little bit of strange. Like a whole fried egg is also a little bit strange to me. Um, it's not a ton of cucumber, but it's obviously some cucumber. So, and it's diced. So we're gonna dice some cucumber. I can hear my egg popping a little bit, so we're a little bit too hot. Now, of course, the egg on the packet on the picture is sunny side. I don't typically make sunny sides because I'm real bad at temperature control, and I usually stick with an over easy. So I'm gonna go an over easy because this guy's already started to spit at me, which means he was a little bit too hot for even attempting a sunny side. A sprinkling of fresh shallot across the top. Parsley, which is presented as a garnish as well, but it's yet another element. Let's take a look at the bottom of this egg. Okay. And a fried egg. And top it all off with a fried egg. Hot dang. It sounds like a confused dish to me. But oops. But here's the thing. Make that tomato a little bit more visible. Uh, Mie Goreng, or an approximation of it: shrimp, tomato, parsley, cucumber, stir-fried noodles with peas, carrots, tomatoes, a fried egg, lettuce. There you go. It's pretty much what I was expecting. I should go take some pictures. I also want to really want to dive in on this and see what it's actually like with all this stuff. Make sure my heats are off before I walk away. Yep. So that's the thing. I should put the. I'm going to put the packet in the picture next to the thing, so you can tell what I made. That'll be the fun. Um, where's my? Oh, that's right. I was charging it. Huh. Well, it wasn't as hard as it could have been. This is a good sort of easy run for this concept, I think, because all these ingredients are kind of normal things. Uh, you're gonna miss out on popping the yolk because I'm gonna do that over there so that I can get some shots of the yolk running out. Okay, let's see how this compares to the packaged version. I did, of course, have a little bit of a taste of the sauce while I was making it, but let's give this the proper. Here, I will get rid of my face there. And actually, I don't want these to go to waste. They're going to go right in the middle. We're going to move the cutting board so I'm not climbing all over it. Okay, let's give this a taste. I'm not sure where to start. All these bits and pieces. We should start with the noodles. They're the main event. Mmm. Mmm. That's pretty close to the packet. It's it's sweet. First thing is it's sweet. It's a sweet and savory sauce. Um, Obviously, it's using that thickened, sweetened molasses soy sauce, which is bringing sugar. There's also sweetness in the sweet chili sauce. Plus, we added some more sugar. So it's definitely got sweetness, but it's got a lot, but it's balanced out by a lot of strong, savory umami flavor from the onions and the garlic and the soy. I think I overcooked the noodles just a little bit. They're not gummy, but they seem a little just a little bit soft. I wish they had a tiny bit more bite to them. That one green chili I threw in here was definitely enough spice. Be careful with these little guys. They're a thing. Let's try the noodles with. Mm. Mm. I feel like the lettuce is here for roughage and looks. The flavor of the lettuce, even a nicer lettuce, this is butter lettuce or Boston lettuce, um, does not really contribute much compared to the rich flavor of the noodles. The egg is a good accompaniment. Try the bite of the shrimp with it. Hmm. It's nice. I especially actually quite like the cucumber because it's fresh cucumber, so it's crunchy. It's it's this bright, crunchy vegetable. It balances out quite well with the rest of this being. It's a pretty heavy dish. It's oily, but it's not like pooling oil in the bottom. So I think I nailed it in terms of the amount of oil. Maybe a tiny bit too much, because they're. But tough to say. My crispy shallots aren't as crispy as the ones that are in the packet, but they have a nice, like, slightly burnt, dark flavor to them. It's a good addition here as well. Um, and then there's just like a big slice of tomato, which is hard to eat with a noodle dish, but it's not bad. I think the cucumber is a better accompaniment here, actually. I understand the fresh vegetables because the dish itself is quite oily and it has this rich, savory flavors to it. The fresh vegetables do a lot of work to balance that out. Um, I think this would be well. I had the packet, the flavor packet one. The I left it in the other room here. Someone's calling me. They'll have to wait. We're still live. So here's the package again for reference. There's mine and there's the thing. The noodles are less oily in the package, and I think that's because they understand that you're not going to put all this stuff on them. Um, all the stuff I think is important for the dish, though. All in all, this is good, and it's interesting. It's very similar to like a Chinese fried noodle or even those Philippine things I was making, but it is distinctly different. It's not just oh, it's the same thing again. It is distinctly different. Those different flavors in the sauces and some different techniques involved, especially all this fresh stuff piled on top of it, really makes it stand out. This is good. This is good. I think I nailed the other than this being a sunny side egg. I think I nailed the recreation here. Uh, I feel like the parsley is just here for garnish because it tastes like parsley. They used curly parsley. I think if you're making this and you don't hate cilantro, swap out the parsley garnish for a cilantro garnish, and this will probably work better. But yeah, but yeah, thumbs up in my book. It's got a little bit of spice to it. which is because I added green chili because on the picture, even though there's no chili in this at all, the packaged version is not spicy, zero spicy. Um, that's all me just because of that one little guy on the picture there. But yeah, okay, okay. Well, see my smiling face again. Um, I'm gonna wrap us. I'm gonna start wrapping us up there. Uh, my throat's getting a little bit raw. I think this is about the limit of my ability to chatter at this stage of recovery. So good time to wrap it up. Um, glad you could be here. This was glad I'm back. So first thing, I'm glad I'm back. I'm glad I'm back in the old saddle here. This was as I mentioned at the beginning, a sort of trial run of trying to recreate these things from the packages. Um, some of them I've looked at are very complicated. Like they have fresh galangal sprouts on the thing. Like, where do you even get that? So some of these things might be a real challenge. This one was a trial run because these are all ingredients that I immediately recognized. Um, and I thought it worked great. I thought this was delicious. Yeah, on board. Let's pull up the old Ray to Rooney thing here and see who's on that I can go say hi to. I know exactly who I'm going to go say hi to. We're going to go say hi to Celebradream, uh, whom I know as Billy, who is doing a community night. We're playing Jackbox. He's playing Jackbox with his viewers. Um, they are probably in the middle of a game, so if you wanted to join in, that's probably not going to be doable. But you know, Jackbox lets the audience join in and do stuff too, so that could be a fun thing to drop off at. Um, as I said, my throat's getting a little bit raw, and I'm coughing more and more as we go on. So I'm going to stop talking now and just enjoy. And as a result, I'm also going to just rate us off.